The strategic location of Brno has since time immemorial not only affected the city's history, but also that of the whole region. The predecessor of Brno is thought to have been an old castle fort in Líšeň, one of the Moravian Empire's strongholds. Its settlement dates back to the late Neolithic. The first written mention of Brno is found in the Cosmas Chronicle from 1091. In the mid-13th century, Spielberg Castle was founded on a steep rocky hill above the historic centre. From the mid-14th century, Brno hosted the Moravian Provincial Assembly, which used to meet alternately in Brno and Olomouc. The city was twice besieged during the Hussite Wars, but both times in vain. During the 30 Years' War, Brno, as the only town in Moravia, withstood the long siege of the Swedish troops. The military commander Radovid de Souche and the Jesuit rector Martin Streda were instrumental in the defense of the city. For its efforts, Brno was rewarded with privileges and crest advancement. At this time, it became the only town in Moravia, a position also reinforced by the foundation of a bishopric in 1777. During the 18th and the 19th centuries, industry and trade developed. Brno concentrated on the textile industry and engineering, introducing new technology. In 1839, the first train arrived from Vienna, which began steam railway operation in the country. The town ceased to be a fortress. The fortification walls were gradually torn down, following the example of Vienna, and replaced by buildings and green spaces, the so-called Ringstrasse. In 1869, the first horse-drawn trams emerged. Gas lighting was introduced. New schools, secondary and grammar schools were founded. In 1919, surrounding villages were joined to Brno, and the so-called Greater Brno arose, the second largest city in Czechoslovakia. During the First Republic, it was a centre of industry, commerce and culture. Masaryk University was founded, Brno Exhibition Centre opened, many prominent personalities worked here such as Bohuslav Fuchs, Leos Janáček and Viktor Kaplan. In 1939, Brno was occupied by the German army. The Second World War that followed caused enormous damage, economic, cultural and human. Brno was liberated in April 1945, but the subsequent historical events were not favourable. The transfer of the German population occurred with many acts of violence. During the period of communist rule, the city stagnated economically and politically. Only after 1989 could it breathe again and become the rightful Moravian metropolis. Since 2000, Brno has been the centre of the South Moravian region and has looked forward to the new century as a confident, cosmopolitan city.